Good evening, everyone. On behalf of Institute of Company Secretaries of India, myself, Deepa Khatri, Deputy Director, would like to extend a very warm welcome to all the viewers at this webinar series on launch of LLP modules in MCA21-V3. Today is the second out of 4 webinars of this webinar series, which ICSI has organized in association with Ministry of Corporate Affairs. This webinar would be addressed by senior officers from MCA team and LTI team who is actively involved in successful implementation of LLP project and also involved in transition of MCA V2 to V3 project under the guidance of Shri Manoj Pandey, Joint Secretary, Ministry of Corporate Affairs. On behalf of Institute, please accept our warm welcome at this webinar, both the teams. I also welcome Shri Vineet Chaudhary ji, who is Council Member, ICSI, and Chairman, Auditing Standards Committee of ICSI. Now I would like to invite Shri Vineet Chaudhary ji for his address.
Thank you, Deepa. Thank you very much. On behalf of the Institute, first of all, let me take the opportunity to welcome dignitaries who are here today on the launch of the LLP module in MCA21-V3, which is called the new way of e-filing. As we all are aware that with the attempt to ease of the doing business in India and to digitize the platforms for filing of the various e-forms, returns, and the compliances, Ministry of Corporate Affairs has done wonderful efforts in the last 1 decade particularly. I have been fortunate to be the part of the institutional services as an ICSI part, and have seen personally since 2006 when they started implementing this digital era. They have been pioneers amongst many of the ministries to do the wonderful job so far as the digitization of the voluminous documentations are concerned. With this momentum, they have been coming with the various changes, various technological advancement, updations in the portal, different versions, and now a wonderful version they have just proposed to be implemented, if I understand, with effect from the 5th of the March 2022 midnight, and that is called LLP module of MCA21-V3 version, which will be a web-based version. So my sincere compliment to the Ministry of Corporate Affairs, led by its team. B. Sri Kumarji, a very good friends, and have been putting his best effort in the pandemic time we have seen. And my sincere compliment to the team of your developers, LTI, comprising Mr. Rohit Bhatt, who is the program manager and is available with us, Seema Malhotra, Sakshi Sharma, Rena, I understand Rena ji, and Vijay ji. So MCA21 V3 project, I understand, is basically a technological driven looking forward project, which will not only ease the doing of business, but also enhance the user experience, facilitating seamless integration and data exchange amongst various regulators. It will also serve the purpose of the MCA double fold to the enforcement side also. The basic feature, what we understand from this system would be to ease scrutiny, which we have seen in the physical mode, and everyone is going to the technology driven things. So it will completely change the scenario of the scrutiny, adjudication, e-adjudications, then e-consultation also, compliance management system, CMS, what we say, MCA lab, chatbot enabled desktop, and to further, update our stakeholders and to attain that they can take the advantage of the technological advancement and web-based technology developed by the Ministry of Corporate Affairs to do the needful. A series of webinars has been organized by the Ministry of Corporate Affairs, and we are sincerely thankful to them that they have entrusted their continuous faith and trust in us, and we have been given the opportunity with a part of their drive to educate the various stakeholders. As company secretaries are the primary stakeholders and extended arm of the regulators who take the technological and other changes to the various corporates. Thank you very much. We all are with you, sir. So our members in thousands of the numbers are participating, and I'm sure they will be taking the input from the LTI team today to understand the technical changes and how to take the advantage of it and how to incorporate the various LLPs and the various compliances in the E mode in the web-based technology. This is the second webinar. The first webinar we had on 26th of February, this month, on Saturday only, in which the basic module was launched. And in today's webinar, we will be, I've been made to understand that the team would be giving the presentation on the user registration for the DPs. Then we will have the LLP form for Form 15 for the change of name and place of registered office, and Form 22 for the notice of the intimation of the order of the court and tribunals of central government. The Institute of Company Secretaries of India commends the dedicated efforts being undertaken by the ministry once again for strengthening the corporate governance framework and provide the ease of doing business through more technological driven softwares and technologies, removing the human intervention and also reducing the chances of the error. So this is a great initiative. I once again extend a very hearty welcome to the whole team of the Ministry of Corporate Affairs under the leadership of B. Sri Kumarji today, along with the LTI team under the leadership of Mr. Rohit Bhatt, Program Manager. Deepa, thank you very much. We will all not be coming into the way of our technical team. Let us straightway go to the presentation and learn. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Vinit ji, for those nice words. Dear ICSI office bearers, members of ICSI, and my dear friends, once again, warm welcome to this webinar on the topic of e-way of new e-filing of LLP forms under MCA21-V3 platform. During our previous session, we have discussed almost all the new changes, but some of the stakeholders are still have some confusion or some doubts in their mind. And I hope Ms. Deepa had captured all those questions or feedback, whatever it is, which she got it on the first day webinar. Those issues can be discussed today. And basically the doubt in the minds of stakeholders are how web-based forms are better than PDF-based forms. See, already I have told you that you would have experienced during our V2 itself, we have launched 2 web-based forms in company forms format also. That is, one is Spice Plus and other one is Director DAR3 KYC. See, and here in V3 format, we have removed all redundant fields. Wherever repetitions are there, those fields have been removed. And unnecessary attachments have been removed. And if any attachments are really required, then we are capturing it as a linked form to the basic main form. That is the main added advantage of this web-based. And another important feature is auto delete option. While pre-filling the data in the web-based form, the stakeholder has the option, either he can decide either to keep those data for how many days in his application history. Suppose if we do not want those data, he can keep it for 10 days or 15 days, then automatically those data will be deleted from his system. So there will be major space constraint will be saved if they don't, if they want to keep any unnecessary data in their system. So that option is there. And in most of the, not most of the, almost in all the forms, OTP verification have been removed, because OTP verification is a very, very cumbersome process. So ministry has contemplated not to put too much of a hardship on the part of stakeholders to get OTP verification. Only on some important forms we have placed that OTP requirement. Then again, see, we have removed the dependency on filings have been reviewed by ministry, and any filing restrictions made only in accordance with the Act's rules. Unnecessary filing dependencies are there presently in some forms. That also we have reviewed, and those unnecessary restrictions also we have removed it. So, say for example, if the company is going to file STK2 for strike off, or in case of INC 28, if there is any form like refund form, pending refund form, or any other forms, there will be system restriction. So those restrictions also we have kept in mind, and it has been removed. And on that day, we have discussed about AIML, that is artificial intelligence and machine learning, that will play a key role for name search and allotment, both for FO user and BO user as well. Because we will find very much easy, and during our previous session also, our LTI team service provider had showcased how the names can be searched at the time of pre-filling the run form or Philip form itself. So that will reduce so much of hardship, and it will help us also as a regulator. Unnecessary rejections will be avoided from our side. And we have to talk about the mobile application also. So going forward, this new feature of mobile application will enable the stakeholder to have the VPD, that is View Public Document Facility, through their mobile itself. So that will be very helpful to the external stakeholders like our professional fraternities. And previously also we have discussed about a lot of important recent notifications issued by our ministry. So I request you one and all to kindly go through the main notifications which were released on 11th of February. That is notification number 621E, 622E, 623E, 109E, 110E. So all the this 110E is very important, because we have taken most of the sections from Companies Act, like section 90, section 164, 165, 167 and all. And accordingly, in V3 version, we are also formulating a web-based LLP BEN form for capturing the beneficial detail, owner details, significant beneficial SBO details. Then, yeah, same way LLP ADJ form also we are introducing, because already this adjudication rules have been notified. So these all are the important changes. Please go through it, and I request Vivek Meena to have a few words about the new changes in our MCA V3. Thank you everyone once again. Thank you all.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much for the further updations. Thank you.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. I hope I'm audible.
Yeah, Vivek, you are audible.
Absolutely, absolutely.
B. Srikumar sir has already mentioned all the major changes that are happening with the launch of MCA21 version 3. Only thing I want to add here is the major change, that is we are migrating more towards a compliance management based system, wherein the filing will be important. However, we are envisaging the use of technology as a major source of input for management of compliance. So what it means is that data analytics will play a major role in filing, in finding out defaults and in identifying some early warning systems for any kind of fraud that can be detected through system itself. And more and more as we go towards V3 in the mid cycle of V3, the AIML technology, which uses and leverages the data that we already have, along with the data that we will take from outside stakeholders. So this compliance management module will be built upon all this data and the analytics, and it will keep on improving with time. So we are making it easier for the stakeholders to do their filing by removing a lot of restrictions and making the technology as an enabler, so that it's easier for the stakeholder to file. So as Srikumar sir has mentioned, we are launching the mobile app also. So, to provide further informations on MCA services, there'll be notification services also. For example, the form that you submitted, the status of that form has changed. So that notification will come in the mobile app itself. So, it will make it a lot more easier for you to track your applications and, do the mandatory filings. Along with that, we will be adding some more changes like in the e-adjudication module that will be coming up with the launch of the company module. Therein, we will leverage the technology so that the stakeholder does not have to be physically present to attend the hearing and to do, all these compliances. So, we will use the entire theme of MCA version 3 is we will leverage the technology to make it easier for the stakeholders to do their compliance. And at the same time, we will make it, a much more system-driven, analytics-based compliance management system, wherein any default by the stakeholder will be detected by the system itself and necessary actions will be undertaken in the quickest manner by the jurisdictional ROCs and RDs. With that, I'll let the LTI team talk about, the further details and show you the demo of the forms. Thank you.
Thank you, Vivekji. I think now the LTI team can take over. And,
Yes.
So,
Sure.
would be taking the questions, and wherever it would be appropriate, you take up the questions with the LTI team. Thank you, sir.
yes, sir.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. So sir, hi, this is Rohit. This side, I'm renting LTI here. Along with me, I have my team who will be assisting me while giving this presentation. I am assisted with Vijaya. I am assisted with who is the domain expert. Sakshi is also a domain expert. I also have Raina, who is from a technical team along with me, who will be assisting them in order to give the technical demo. I would request Sakshi to maximize this presentation, and I'll just cover 1 or 2 slides, then she can take it over. Let us know when you have both 39 and 140 available. So can you just move to the next slide, Sakshi? Yes, sir. So what has happened so far, sir? This is the journey so far that we had in V3. And the way we have streamlined this project was, or implemented this project was, that we have divided this project into phases. So we had phase 1 and phase 2. So in the phase 1, we had rolled out a website redesign that was in the month of May last year, wherein we rolled out a homepage about MCA news and updates, data and reports, and contact us. We also covered, sir, ebook and e-consultation in that phase. Also, there were email services for the MCA officers. That was rolled out in phase 1. We also had rolled out learning management system. This is against for MCA officers, wherein they have the training material about different modules or the internal trainings that that they have. We have put it in a common place so that the training happens for that module. We also had made sure that in the second phase, if you see, this is live website, global search is already live. This was implemented somewhere on 28th of May last year again. So it gives it's a different feel, to be precise. Once you search on the website, it gives you a little bit feel that you are exactly going to that particular document what you are searching for, along with some segregation or categorization that has been done. Other than that, sir, there are also the modules which we are launching on the 6th of March, which is login registration. We are completely moving it to the new portal, and this will be only applicable for the LLP modules. There's a screenshot as well in the next few slides, which will just differentiate between how the website will look like on 6th of, and where the registration of the LLP module will be done. We are also launching, sir, LLP forms, which is on the 6th of March again. There are 20 odd forms which we are launching on 16th, which is the complete forms of LLP module. And these will be all web-based forms, compared to what we have in V2. So we are also launching a new LLP back office for MCA officers to review, approve, and based on the state or the categorization that has to happen, or status. So based on that, the new altogether with enhanced features in the back office has been done for the MCA officers, along with the reports, dashboards, and all those things. So this is about the second phase. We are also launching 2A phase, wherein we'll launch company module, which will be somewhere end of April and early May, is the overall V3 rollout scope that we have. So Sakshi, I'll just hand it over to you from here onwards, just quickly, because we need to make sure that we are getting into a demo of the form, which is the main agenda today. rather than focusing more on the presentation, because we already run through this presentation last time.
Sure, Rohit. Thank you so much. I hope I'm clearly audible.
Yes, yes. Please continue.
Okay, great. So as discussed earlier, we are going to see a lot of changes basis the extensive discussions that we had with various consultants, external stakeholders, general public at large, and basis which the system has been prepared, we will be able to see that a lot of changes have been done in form. Apart from making them web based, we can see that form Philip has been linked with form 9 and form 17 and form 18. Form 3, 4, 5, they can be filed together and they can be filed separately also. We have also tried to reduce MCA with the support of MCA. We have also tried to reduce the attachments requirement as much as possible. So for example, earlier form 9, which used to go as an attachment with form Philip, that has now been created as web-based filing, and that will be linked to Philip form. In form 15, you'll be able to see that we have created it as per company's form also. The same facility is given in form 15 also, wherein different options will be given to the user basis and basis the option where the form can be filed. In form 17 and 18, as already mentioned earlier, it will be linked with Philip filing. Today we'll be showcasing form 22 filing, wherein we'll show the pre-filling of certain fields, how this pre-fill will work, wherein you'll also see that some fields will get disabled basis the selection of certain radio buttons, and some field will get enabled. Even though we understand that will be
just for a clarity purpose, the last webinar what we had run through was the run form and the new features of that. Today we are proposing to do this new form wherein we can showcase you into 2022 end to end the form filing for this.
Yes, and this will, because run form does not include DSC facility, so you'll also get to see how this DSC facility will be included in the web-based forms now, how the DSC will be used and how the filings will be done and how the payments will be made. Though payment and filing of the forms were already showcased in the run form, but now today we'll see how the DSC will also be used. Along with that, we will also be showcasing the user registration for designated partners. We have already covered the user registration for professionals, so today we'll be showcasing the user registration for designated partners also. So if we see the key features that we have already covered the slide earlier also, but you'll get to see that this system is more simplified and secured in terms of login and registration. The forms have been more enhanced, more pre-fills have been incorporated, less information to be filled by the professionals. Being a professional myself also, I understand that when we have to put less information, this becomes very easier to understand also for the stakeholders and easier to file also. We are also incorporating. Yes.
Yeah. I just want to ask that if anything is pre-filled, then can we change if we see any error in the, let's say in the name of the spelling of the name of company? Can we change that pre-filled item?
Sure. So for example, if any field is linked with any other filing or any other form, and if you're receiving any error in the pre-filled information, you'll also get the solution from where you can change that particular information. So if any particular
answer to that question, ma'am, is pre-filling will not be able to as of now, because that data comes mostly from the database, and from database we cannot change the data on the fly. So because for that database there's a change request form that will be that's a separate form which will come up, wherein that is also being automated in the new V3. Earlier you used to have a CRF, but changing anything in the database will be a common change request process that has to be followed, ma'am. So you cannot change anything in the database perspective, say. But if you, let's say example, you are saving a document or you're saving a form, and then if I'm going back, the saved data can be edited. However, the pre-fill coming from database will not be edited, ma'am.
Okay, correct.
Now, for example, if you see that your registered office is already changed, but that is not reflecting in the pre-filled field of the form. So for that, you'll definitely have to go and file a form and change that registered office address, and then only you can see the correct information getting pre-filled in the respective forms. So for pre-fill, if any information is getting pre-filled from any linked form, that database cannot, that particular field cannot be changed or cannot be made editable. And we'll also see that we have interactive dashboards wherein we'll see the stakeholders will be able to edit the already saved form. They'll be able to download the already filed form. The SRNs, you'll be able to see a complete track of whatever the forms for whichever the LLPs or companies that you have filed. You'll be able to see a complete track of all the forms. Then we have revamped back office portal also, as Rohit rightly mentioned that the back office portal is also getting revamped completely. We are including various dashboards and various helpful things for back office users as well, for their ease also, so that they can do their checks easily on various companies and LLPs also. That is again a part of robust corporate management system. For user registration and login, we have already highlighted this earlier, that email and mobile OTP validation will be there. Earlier, it was very difficult to just get back if we have lost our user ID or if we have forgotten our user ID. But now our user ID will be the SIN or LLPN that we use for the company and LLP users, and it will be the email ID for the individual users or professional users or other users. So it will be very easier to remember that also, and the password recovery is also very easy basis the OTP validation. And then we have additional security checks also. We have PAN validations also in the system, and we have streamlined the authorization and suspension process also. This we will also cover in the next coming webinars. So if a company has any designated partner or director whom it authorizes to file any form on companies or that LLP's behalf, so that particular designated partner or director can definitely do that filing from its own ID, and that authorization is given by the LLP or company from its user ID only. Will showcase the complete steps in the upcoming webinars. This is how the login screen will look like. At present, we have differentiated the company login and LLP login because LLP module is already going live. However, company module still has some time to go live. So for LLP login, you can directly log into the system from this tab. However, for company login, you'll be redirected to the V2 page only, from where the company forms can be filed.
No, so okay. So
Not the
for
form.
clarity purpose, if you go back, Sakshi. So for clarity purpose, as of now, if you see from the 25th onward, the fresh filing of the LLP has been stopped till 5th, and so this is since both these portals as of now we are migrating into V3 only the LLP module. So you will see a separate login between the LLP and the company. The company login as of now will remain same. There is no change, but we have just given a space here to route it to the to keep an section between two. And if you still log in into company login, you will be again still on the last V2 version of the company forms. If you click on LLP login, you will be actually using the enhanced version of the V2, which is the web-based filing of the LLP module. So now for the login, there will be three things, ma'am, that will or sir will change on 6th. As of now, so let's say example, whatever I have registered as a company as MCA, what are credentials I am having, I will go on 6th. I will just type my login here on LLP login. That will work absolutely fine. But it will immediately take me to the profile page of the LLP login and ask me to change my details there. However, for company, the login credentials will remain same. For the DSC users or the ones which have director have DSCs which are logging through that, for them there will be a change in password, and that password will be communicated just a day before to them. It will be as easy as a password send it across or communicate it to them once before they go live. Also, this is also an opportunity for users to also upgrade themselves from a registered to business users if they want. So this is where we have a change that is coming on 6th of March from the login and registration perspective. Carry on, Sakshi.
Thank you, Rohit. So if we see the enhancements that we have received in various forms, so the stakeholders that we have today, they are already well versed with the SPICE and DI3 KYC web-based form. So our this V3 system is enhancement of those systems also. So basically, you'll be able to see that the a great reduction in the manual efforts because of the pre-fill of the information, and you'll not be required to fill those fields which are not required for on the basis of selection of any particular radio button for which you're trying to file the form. And then we have linkage of various forms as already mentioned earlier. So for example, if we want to file a form for LLP for any change in the agreement, the form for which we file LLP Form 3, then our Form 4 and Form File will also be linked to that Form 3 basis what we select, what kind of change we select in Form 3. So if you're selecting the change in name, due to which your agreement has changed, so form file will be directly linked to that that particular form. So user will get the option either to file form 5 as a link form or to not to file it as a link form. So that those kind of options we are now giving to the users for their ease. And then auto pre-filling of common fields across the form, which will definitely ensure consistency and effort reduction also. It will also reduce the number of errors that we have. So here also we have various fields apart from the master data of the company, which includes the name, registered office address, email ID. Apart from that also will receive, you'll be able to see that many details will be getting pre-filled. For example, the contribution details of the designated partners, the details of designated partners, those kind of details will also be getting pre-filled. And this is just an example of the facility that you'll be receiving in V3 database. Then we have form field optimization by removal of duplicate and redundant field. With our efforts and with our study that we had to do for this V3 launch, we have seen that various duplicate fields were there which were not required, and if one form had that field, that those fields can be removed from the other forms. So that has also been taken care of from this V3 in this V3 system. Minimization of attachments, so you'll see that the attachments which could be removed, so they have been removed altogether from this LLP, and also which were required and could be filed as web-based form only, that have also been taken care of in V3 system. So LLP Form 9 is one such example, which is now linked with Philip form. So user will not be able to now require to take a PDF of that attachment and file it in the Philip form if he or she has the DPIN with him. Then additional of field level validation also, thereby minimizing errors at the time of filing. So as soon as you are filling any particular field with incorrect or wrong information, which the system is able to detect, so you'll receive the error then and there only. And if not, then you'll also be receiving certain errors, pre-scrutiny level errors, at the time of saving the information or at the time of submission of the information also. So this is the kind of change that you'll be able to see in V3 also. And the most important part is that we used to receive a lot of issues from, we used to receive a lot of complaints from the stakeholders that the maximum size is only 6 MB, which is very less, and due to which stakeholders face a lot of problem. Now we have tried to remove that issue, remove that from the V3 system. So now individual attachment size is maximum 2 MB, and the overall form size is maximum 10 MB. So each individual attachment can be of maximum 2 MB in across all the forms, and the overall size including DSC and all the attachments, it can be maximum 10 MB. for all the forms. So these are the major changes that we have brought in V3 system. Now, one of the major highlights in terms of payment system also, we have integrated with Bharat Kosh, and you'll be able, we have increased the payment gateways also. Earlier, there were only 2 payment gateways, which were again very kind of one of the issues that stakeholders used to face while making the payments. Now the payment gateways have also been increased from 2 to 8, and all the Indian cards can also be used for the transactions of payment with MCA. So critical issues that that the stakeholders were facing earlier and have now been addressed in V3 system. 24/7 payment facility will be available. You can easily track the payment of the status on the Bharat Kosh website also, and on MCA V3 system also. So you can also see the status of the payment in interactive user dashboard, your personal dashboard that will be there. You can track the payment from there also, and you'll also be receiving one user ID and password once you make the payment on Bharat Kosh website. And from that user ID and password, you can track the payment on Bharat Kosh website also. So the part where earlier users were not able to see the payment status, and though they used to make the payment, but the status were not getting updated, that part will also be reduced, definitely reduced here. And now increased payment modes also. In terms of offline and online modes, both the payment modes have been increased. You'll receive the challan generation option also, NEFT, RTGS options also, and in terms of online, credit card, debit card, UPI, and net banking will also be there. So we have tried to reduce the payment issues that the stakeholders were facing earlier. Hopefully, users will be able to see a difference now. Now, when we speak about my application dashboard, so for the professionals who will be filing, it is a great boon in V3 system. We understand that the stakeholders, the professionals, they file forms for multiple LLPs and companies, and it's very difficult for them to track the transactions at the end of the day. And after certain point of time also, it gets very difficult to track the status of the forms that they have filed, or they have to go back to check the SRN and then search it in the on the MCA portal, and also to maintain that sort of forms in their systems also, which consume a lot of space of their system also. So now we have introduced interactive dashboard, the my application dashboard, for every type of user. Whatever the forms they file, they'll be able to see a complete track of those forms. There will be filter options as well in that interactive dashboard, wherein you can search through the SRN, through date wise also you can track, and through company names also you can track for any particular company. If you want to see in the filings that you have done so far, you can also track it that ways also. You'll get various options to download the forms that you have filed, to edit whatever you have saved earlier, you want to edit, and you want to then after some days you want to file the form, you can do that also. You get the option to delete the earlier filled applications also. If you want to do by mistake you saved some application, or some file is redundant, you can definitely go and delete that also. In forms also, you get the option to edit page wise. So once you have completely filled the form and you're on the review page, you get the option to edit the form, and page wise you get the edit option. So wherever you click edit, you'll be able to edit that particular section, and then you can save the form then and there only. So that reduces your manual efforts also, to go back to the first page and make the changes, or to go back to another page and make the changes, and then come back on the last page altogether. So that is also again a change. We have also increased the notification options, and the kind of notification that users used to receive earlier. So in this system, you'll be able to receive the notifications via SMS as well as emails. So earlier there was no SMS receive, only email notifications were sent. But now, as soon as you create your user registration, you file any form, you submit any form, you make the payment. If any payment is pending also, if your any SRN is created, however no action has been done on that, even though action is required to be done. So those reminders you'll also be able to receive from the system generated emails. And if any inactivity is done on your user register user ID for some days, those sort of notifications you'll also be able to receive from our notification system.
Sakshi, with regard to filing history,
Yes, ma'am.
filing
Yes,
history, since how much time, how long it will be there? Like past 1 year, 2 year, how much time of history will be there in the filing history?
So, ma'am, at present it is there is no time limit as such, so you'll be able to see from as soon as the system starts, there will be you'll be able to see the application history for like for
So it is
however
just
for
started.
how long, yes, how long the system the user ID will be in place for that period. The user will be able to see the complete history till the time his or her user ID is in place.
Okay.
Yeah.
As of now, ma'am, we have not put any restrictions with regard to that.
Yeah, I can understand. It is just started, so it will the time will you will take a call after some time about this.
Right.
So, just to give a gist of what changes are there in forms. So, Form 345 I've already covered. 9, 17, and 18 linkage is already covered. Form 28 and 29. So, not only Indian LLPs. So, if any foreign LLP is also registered in India, MCA has tried to reduce their efforts also. So, Form 28 and 29 have now been merged into one form. So, reducing that part also, they'll not be required to file multiple forms. Form 28 is a new form in place of Form 28 and 29, which was there earlier. Integration with trademark for name check facility in run form. Being a professional myself, I can understand how much effort used to go in searching the name availability, and then
Sakshi is not audible.
I think, yeah, she's not audible. So what she meant was, ma'am, what the changes that we are bringing in was that this,
will be
Sakshi, you are not audible. Uh, are you audible now? No, you're not audible.
Am I audible?
No,
No?
no, it's breaking in between.
Okay, just 1 second.
So I'll just quickly run through this presentation. Sirs and ma'am, so this is the changes that are highlights that we are bringing in together. That Form 345 have been now linked and can be filed as a standalone as well. For Philip form has been linked with 9, 17, and 18. We also are making sure the parent and integrations are being done and a validation is done for for filing Philip form. There is also an integration with trademark. I think we showed in the last webinar how this integration with trademark is done to reduce the efforts, and also the for the 28 and 29, which is usually filed for the foreign LLPs, we have merged them into one form as 28. So that is what the change we are bringing in across or overall form perspective. Sakshi, would you like to go to the next slide, please?
Yes. Am I audible now?
Yeah, a bit. Please carry on.
Okay, great.
He's not audible.
Sakshi, there is an issue with your connectivity.
So now we'll just show we are taking a Form 22 for that matter. Registration.
Sakshi, you are not audible. I think,
Just
Raina, can you just share your screen and start the demo, please?
Yes. Good evening, everyone. I'll be sharing my screen.
Yeah, Raina.
Yes, please let me know once my screen is visible.
Yes, it is visible. So at present, we are going to showcase how the registration will be done for the designated partner, because we will get different options to get registered on MCA portal. So for designated partners and directors, they'll be able to file any form with respect to their companies and LLPs. So wherever they hold a position of director or designated partner, and same goes with the case of authorized representative also. They'll be able to file the form for any LLP or company to which they relate, and not for any other LLP or company. We get two options here: business user and a registered user. So as soon as we click business user, we'll get multiple options. So at present, since we are showcasing director or designated partner, we can select that. So here income tax PAN will also be validated from the CBDT also. That integration has also been done. We need to make sure that our details that we are filling is completely correct as per the MCA database and CBDT also, like we take care in the forms also. The same and basis the DIN will get the information pre-filled also. The address will get pre-filled. In V3 forms, we'll also see that basis the PIN code, we get the state pre-filled, and the area, locality, and city drop-downs also, from which we can select the respective area and city where we belong. And mobile number and email ID is also getting pre-filled basis the information that we have already put in the MCA database. If you see the stepper above, this is for the user's ease. User category was the first page. The second page was personal details. The third page where we were last time was contact details. And now we are at login details page. So as soon as you complete one page and you move to next page, a tick mark will come instead of a circle, which will let the user know that he has already completed all the details on that particular page. And same we have applied in all the forms also for users' ease. Now this OTP and mobile and OTP on email ID, this facility is also there to recover and to create the user ID, fresh user ID. Upon submission of the OTP on mobile of mobile number and email ID, we automatically receive the information on our email also that the user ID has already been created. You can showcase the messages that we receive once the user ID is created and the multiple emails and notification that we receive on different.
So we have one question with this regard. Can we
Yes,
use
ma'am.
the existing login ID in the new system?
Yes.
We can use.
You can use, and it will take you to the profile page, ma'am, and to update your details there in the new login. If you wanted to change something, let's say example, you want to change some email ID, you want to change something, it will take you to the profile page to change.
And we can update the details.
Yes, ma'am. Yes. The existing users who are already registered to MCA portal, they don't need to go through the registration process. They just put the login, whatever login that they have. It will take you to the profile page to update, and then you can start working on it, ma'am. Only change is only for the one for the we're logging through DSC or the directors. For them, the password will change.
Any update on the issue? Because we are stuck. Any indication what is the problem? Have you identified the problem or still
Sakshi, you must have received an email.
Yes, I've already received it for the user ID creation. Done. So can you also showcase the screenshots of the kind of information that we receive once our user ID is created or once we submit any form?
Yes, yes. So this is the kind of screenshot that we receive on submission of forms, and this is the
Not
kind
visible.
of.
You're not visible.
Okay, my screen is not visible.
No, it is the MCA website I could see.
So
So in the meanwhile, we can take some questions.
Yes, ma'am.
So there is one question that can we continue our company ROC returns filing during the period 26th February 2022 to 6th of March? Company ROC returns. I think no.
Ma'am, this is Vijaya. So as far as company filings are concerned, so there is no issue, ma'am. They can still go ahead and file all company forms. Only the LLP forms have been restricted for fresh filing.
There is no change in company, ma'am. It is as is. It is only the change on the LLP side so far.
All right.
so, ma'am, this is the kind of email that we receive once our user ID is created. As you can see on the screen, as soon as the user ID is created, you'll receive this email from MCA. Thank you so much, Shaina. So now if we can move to Form 22.
I think let's give a pause, ma'am, here. If we have some questions, then we'll go to the form demo. If there are some few questions, so that we'll just take few here, then at the end of the session.
There are questions, as you say. I can
Please
take
go.
2-3 questions.
Yes, yes.
Okay. So who is AO under new module? AO. Is it something?
Ma'am, he is the authorizing officer.
Okay.
Yes.
Is a back office process.
Back office process.
It may be ROC, AROC, or DROC.
Okay, okay. So another one is run forms are now web-based, and once submitted, we cannot see what data has been filled. So can we know how can we see the data?
Yes, ma'am. So in the application history, also you'll get that option. And once you have filled the information, you get the option to review it again. And once you save it in the system, whenever you access your application history, you will be able to edit the form also. And after filing of the form, you'll be able to download the form as well. So you'll be able to see what information has been filed with the MCA.
There are different options once you file the form in the application history, as we're mentioning in the application history. At the end, there's an action button where once he files the form, there will be a download option that is coming up, which you can download and see the form completely there. That is one way to look at it. Second is once you file or the SRN is getting generated, you can download the form there itself, because once the SRN is generated, you can download the form in the PDF form. So that also can be done there as well. So there are two options where you can see what form has been filed in.
Whether consent in Form 9 will also get linked with Form 3 and 4, wherein new partners are appointed.
Ma'am, at present, that facility is not there. However, it is linked with form Philip and all the details that we fill in form Philip. And for those director who have got the DIN number or DPIN number, that information will get pre-filled automatically in form 9. So that effort will also be reduced. However, form 9 is not there with form 3.
So other 2-3 questions are related to DSC affixation. I think that you will show, then we will ask it thereafter.
Sure, ma'am. So Raina, if you can share the window MCA portal.
Yes. Please let me know once my screen is visible.
Yes, Raina, it is visible. So this is the login page. And once the user is first time logging into the system, he or she will receive the OTP for verification. And after that, for the whole day, that user will not be required to put the OTP. However, if there is a system change or browser change, then the OTP will again be sent to that user. This is the application history page, wherein the user can see a complete track of the form that he has so far filed or kept in saved mode for any action, along with the statuses of the forms. In the MCA services, Raina, please go a bit slow. So in the MCA services, we'll be able to see this e-filing pane, wherein if you click, you will be able to see multiple forms which are applicable on LLP. And since we are filing form 22 now, so we can select form 22 out of these. So we are working on making this particular page more good. So once the company forms are also in place, we'll be giving a complete detail of each and every form, and we'll be making this page look much better than it is right now. So in all the forms, you'll see that we get English and Hindi option. At present, Hindi option is not available. So all the forms will be available in English at present. And this refer instruction kit is a link in all the forms. So once you click on this link, you'll be able to receive, in another tab, you'll be able to see the instruction kit for that particular form. So earlier, we used to download both the forms as well as the help kit, which used to take a lot of space in our system. So that part is also reduced here. You can directly check this help kit anytime from any of the forms, and that will also you'll not be required to download those kits as well. So
Actually,
at present,
with regard to form
sure, sir.
availability in English and Hindi, I need to clarify that in both the languages, we will be notifying at the time of issue of notification, both in English and Hindi as well. And going forward, we will be making facility for filing the forms in Hindi also, but not now. In near future, it will be done. But notification will be done in both the languages. Please go ahead.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. So if you see the stepper above, LLP, FLLP details, attachment declaration, and review and submit it. So this is kept for users' ease. So as soon as Raina completes this first page where LLP and FLLP details are required, and as soon as she moves to attachment and declaration page, you'll see that this circle will turn into tick mark, which is above this is LLP and FLLP details. For the professionals, we have given this search option also. So when you're logging in from your respective professional IDs, you'll get the search option because you'll be filing for multiple companies and LLPs. Can you click on the search button, Raina? So once you put 3-4 alphabets of any particular company's name or LLP's name, you'll be able to see that system will show you the options available in the MCA database to you. So this is also easier for you to put the information or pre-fill the information. You need not put LLPIN, complete LLPIN or complete name, but you'll be able to search it very easily from your respective IDs also. And in the same manner, we have given the option for designated partner and directors also. So if you're logging in from designated partners login ID, you'll be able to see in the drop down all the LLPs and companies with which you're linked, and you can select any of those entities to file the form. Go ahead, Raina. So you can see as soon as the LLPIN is put, all the information with respect to the LLPIN, that is pre-filled. That was also happening in V2 also. Here, you'll be able to see that on the selection of certain fields, that is that is the positive part of web forms. Whenever you select any option, the other options, if they are relevant, they will be available for your manual inputs, and if they are not relevant, if they are not required, those can be freezed or changed. So as Raina has selected court, the B part is name of the court. Can you select some other option? Since she has selected central government, the field changes to name of central government office. We have also given, can you select NCLT, National Company Law Tribunal? National Company Law Tribunal, this is appellate tribunal. Right. So you see, we have also given the drop down in the location part also. Can you click on drop down? Yes. So this will also be the manual efforts that the professionals and the user used to put earlier in putting the location and everything. That is also reduced here. Yes, go ahead, Raina. So if you're in case of dates also, if you're selecting any date which is invalid or which is not, if it is prior to incorporation date, so that sort of errors you'll also be able to see then and there only in the form. Yes, go ahead. So since Raina has selected LLP Act, you will be able to see multiple options in the drop down with respect to the sections which are applicable on the LLP, and when you select on others which are not covered in this drop down, the user will get the option to put the section details and give description also. And same is the case with insolvency. Since B part is applicable on insolvency, that will be enabled only when you're selecting insolvency part. Yes, go ahead, please.
She knows me, yeah? Hello?
We have made multiple things pre-filled for the stakeholders. So if you see the number of days in the sixth field, that is getting pre-filled basis what the user is selecting on in the above fields. So here you can see the manual efforts are drastically reduced. This whole section is applicable on the selection of the above field. So since that user has not selected the information, so this interim resolution professional details is not enabled since insolvency part was not selected earlier. We can move ahead to the next page, Diana. So as we mentioned earlier that for all the individual attachments, we have increased the size to maximum 2 MB. So for each individual attachment, you can see that maximum 2 MB is there. For optional attachments, we still give the option to the users to file 5 attachments in one go under the optional attachment header, and in the total size of those 5 attachments shall be maximum 2 MB. Now, since Raina has already completed first page in the where the LLP and FLLP details were required, you can see the stepper has changed from circle to a tick mark. Now she is on attachment and declaration part. So once you save all the information, once the attachment and declaration, the last part is also completed, you come on the review and submit page, and you get the option to edit the information page wise. So the FLLP and LLP details will also get an edit option, you need not go back to the complete first page and change the information. You get a separate edit option for the other details. Can you click on edit here, Raina? So you'll be able to edit the details here. So the user need not go back to the first page and complete the edit and then come back to the last page to submit the information. You can edit the information here and save the form, and you can move ahead to make the payment and generate the SRN. Yes, go ahead, please. So as soon as the form is submitted, the SRN will get generated. Here, the users must be thinking the payment has not yet been made and the SRN is already generated. So this is how the process will be in V3. As soon as you submit the information, submit the form, the SRN will get generated and the PDF will also be auto-downloaded. So if in case you're not able to download the PDF, or if there is any issue in auto-downloading the PDF, you still get an option to download the PDF from this particular link. Now we'll showcase how we sign the PDF in V3 system. Yes, Raina, we can sign the PDF and upload it. Raina, you'll have to reshare it because we still can see the MCA website.
Yes.
Yeah.
So in the meanwhile, I am taking some questions, if you permit.
Yes,
Yeah,
please.
Deepak, please.
Yes, ma'am, we can.
So whether the new version requires any change in versions of software requirement also? Like Adobe Reader, Java, Windows.
No, ma'am.
anything?
Am I audible?
Yes.
There is no change required, ma'am, in any of the softwares. The only change is that it will not work on Internet Explorer, which was not working earlier as well. You have to use Internet Explorer Edge. That is the only browser change that we have. Because
Okay.
So from the FO side, you can access any browser, so that will be fine. And as such, there is no restriction of software. So because we made it a web form, so the validations and everything will be done on the, on the browser itself. So, the requirement from FO will be very minimal.
the only thing I see, ma'am, is once you do the payment and you are coming back, your browser pop-up should be on. And that is how your receipt will get generated. If let's say example, your pop-up was off and still you had done the payment, please go back and just change the pop-up on, just refresh your page, your receipt will get quickly generated. So that is the only thing, one of the technical aspect that you need to be aware about. We had made sure that is available in FAQs as well to make sure the users are not facing any challenges.
Okay. So do we require different logins for company forms and different login for LLP form? I think yes.
No, ma'am. No, ma'am. As of now, no. Because as a first time login, there's no change. You can directly log in whatever in company and LLP.
Okay. With regard to
just to clarify, I think the user is asking it because in the login screen he saw two different
that
options. But that is only during this transition period while we are migrating the LLP system from V2 to V3. So the login of LLP will happen in the V3 module, whereas the company module is still running in V2 system.
V2 version,
Yeah,
right.
so that is why there will be two different options. However, once all the system is migrated to V3, then there will be one.
Common. Okay. With regard to registration of director and designated partner, whether the registration can be done even if the DIN is deactivated due to non-filing of KYC?
No, ma'am. So you have to first activate it, then only you can do a registration here. So deactivated DINs will not be.
Correct.
So those validations, Deepaji, will remain the same as they were in V2.
Okay. If there is any issue in filing the web form, to whom we should contact? Like, I think the stakeholders are facing issues in filing of CSR2. This is a new web-based form. So I think the
ma'am,
same process, ticket raising.
Process, yes. So what we have done is, as we said earlier as well, for each forms, there is on the right hand top, there is an instruction kit. That is first thing that every user should go through in order to file the form. If at all they are still not able to understand, or if at all they are not still able to log in, or they are not able to file the form, there is always a training kit. We are also creating a user manual which will be applicable in the website itself, where there is no login required. Those instruction will be already available on the website before they go live. And if all these three fail, ma'am, there is always a help desk MCA where they can call in and they can take in help from us.
So
ready,
as,
I think.
yeah.
Any more questions, ma'am?
Yeah, there are certain. So let Sakshi present the DSC.
Okay. So I'll just first showcase how this signed PDF will be filed. So once you choose the file from your desktop, the signed one, I'll also showcase how the signing will be done. But first I'll showcase how this will be uploaded. So now once you click on any of the signed PDF that you have received, now click on upload. Once you have signed the PDF that you have downloaded, after signing, you can choose the file from the signed file from here and then click on upload. The system will check if the DSCs are correctly affixed or not, if the file is okay or not, the file is not tampered or anything. And after the check is done, you will the proceed to payment option will get enabled. Till the time that check is not done, the user will not get the option to proceed for the payment.
Rohitji, kindly clarify the issue. The professionals are again asking about the resubmission thing, which is there before the launch of this LLP module and after the LLP module. I think the same thing will be converted into.
Ma'am, as of now, the data, wherever status they were, they will be as is migrated.
There is one question. LLP login shows only LLP/FCRN, etc. How can a professional register as a user?
In the registration process, there was an option where all the users or the users that we have in B2, you have to go through a drop down and register as per the drop down that you are choosing it, whether it is business or it is professional. So you have to register yourself based on the drop down being prompted.
Another one is we are unable to associate DSC of any director on the current MCA website. Please let us know how to register DSC. DSC registration.
This is a specific issue, Deepaji. If they are facing some technical problem, they can raise a ticket and the help desk team will assist.
Okay.
Exactly.
So once the document is uploaded and once the document is checked from the backend, if the DSC is correct and the document is correct, the user will receive this message on the screen. And now if you see, the proceed to payment option is enabled. Payment part was also covered in run form also. We can still showcase the same here. As soon as we click on proceed to payment, we'll get a gist of what the form, the charge that the user has to pay. Additional fee will be if there is delay in payment. Yes, go ahead. As mentioned earlier, we get various options, payment modes, online and offline. Go ahead.
So, ma'am, I think we have covered this process in last time as well. So I think in the next few sessions as well, again, we'll covering this. So Rana, if you just quickly close the loop or the process quickly, go to the confirm, do the payment. No, for testing purpose for us, they have just enabled the one gateway. But for production, once we go live, all these gateways will be enabled for us. So I was just mentioning here that pop-up should be enabled. If you don't enable the pop-up, you won't see a receipt on the top. So then I just showcase pop-up enablement. You need to make sure this pop-up is enabled, ma'am. So if it is not enabled, you won't see a complete screen. So even if you have done the payment and the pop-up was not enabled, just refresh this page and then download and enable the pop-up and download the receipt.
If you want to download this challan, you get an option to print and download this also. On clicking this download option, we'll be able to download the receipts also. Can we go to the application, my application dashboard, Raina?
Yes.
So if we see in the My Application dashboard, just now we have filed LLP Form 22 for this particular LLPIN, which is the identification number. We get to see that it is under processing. So as soon as this is approved, the status of the form will get changed. And for the forms that we have saved earlier, we can see in the action button that edit option, we are getting the edit option. So if we have saved the information, the user will get the edit option at any time to edit the details of the form and go ahead to submit the form further. I'll now showcase my screen to show how the DSC part works.
Vivek ji, there is a question.
Ji.
Will there be any additional fee waiver for LLP forms for the period of discontinuance of LLP filings?
Can you clarify? I could not understand what they mean.
Like there will be a many days after the due date, because of this span of certain days, they are not able to file. So
madam, I will clarify this question. During this 10 days period, that resubmission option will be extended.
Okay.
Okay, only for resubmission. There won't be any waiver of additional fees. Without additional fees, they can resubmit. If provided the document should be under resubmission mode.
Okay.
So may I continue, Deepa ma'am?
There is small question on resubmission only.
Sure.
In case of resubmission of forms, does the user can edit the filled form, or do they have to fill a fresh form?
Yeah, they have to download a fresh form under V3 and they have to submit it.
Yes.
Okay. Please continue, Sakshi.
They can't use the old V2 version.
Okay.
I hope my screen is visible.
Which particular servers, what type of code has to be configured?
Yes.
Exact configuration that has to be changed to yes or no. That should be ideally included in this Excel sheet.
So this is a PDF which got downloaded when the form was submitted, and the PDF is named with the SRN number. This PDF is a lookalike of what we have in V2 only, and this is the place where we put the DSC, where we affix the DSC. The option to affix the DSC is received here. So as soon as we click on this part, the user will be able to see the various DSCs that are there. So these are the test DSCs that we have at present. So for example, if test 2 is associated with this particular DPIN, let me just.
Please share the lowest level details and include it here so that Siddharth and everybody present during that D-Day call can read.
Or for that matter, let's say test 3 is there. So let me, if I click on sign, I'll get the option to rename it and save it. As this is happening in V2 also. So this process remains the same. If there are more than 2 DSCs required in a particular file, the file can be shared with those people, those required people whose signatures is required on this particular PDF, and the same can be signed and saved in the respective system, and then can be filed from the ID of the users where the form was initially created.
Otherwise, we would be like.
So, ma'am, with this, I think we are done with this session. If there are more questions, we can take it up. Although we will have, I think there are a couple of more seminars covering. We'll see that in the next session, which form will pick up, so show you a change to it. But we'll make sure that we are choosing the other forms in the next session end to end to make sure that we keep on changing the format of the sessions. That's all from my side and my team, Shri Kumar sir and Vivek ji.
Okay. If time permits, can we take few questions? 3-4 questions?
Yes, yes, please.
If the LLP has already been incorporated before 25th of March through physical e-form Philip, but the LLP agreement are yet to be filed. So will that agreement in Form 3 has to be filed through this new LLP portal? Will that Form 3 will also be web-based?
Yes, Form 3 will be required to be filed because already for V2, the LLP filings is already stopped. So Form 3 will require to be filed through V3 portal only. And that will be web-based.
Okay. Will the public search of documents become obsolete from now on for LLPs?
Are they asking about view public document service?
I think yes, because global search thing was explained no, in the presentation.
Both these things
so
are
VPD
different.
will still be there.
Yeah, it will be there.
Okay.
Global search is to make it easier for the stakeholder to search any information on the website, but VPD as a service will still continue.
Okay. Associate DSC is disabled, then how company filings is possible if we need to associate new DSC?
Ma'am, associate DSC is not disabled. The service is available for company as well as LLPs. There's a separate service, FO service has been, that also will go live on 6th. The associate DSC will be there. So they can go ahead and associate their DSCs there.
Can a professional create a business user ID and upload all the LLP forms?
Yes, ma'am, definitely. Definitely. So there is no restriction on professional users to file any particular form. Professional users can file ample number of forms for any LLP or company as they were doing earlier also.
So I think almost questions we have covered. Now there is a duplication. So with this, we have come to an end of this webinar. And it is a pleasure in sharing that in the previous webinar, it was attended by 4,000 plus participants. So we would like to thank MCA team, headed by Shri Kumarji, and LTI team of senior officers who have enlightened the viewers by making them abreast with the highlights of the new LLP modules. We would like to thank all the participants for actively participating at the webinar and raising lots of and apt queries. With this, I would like to invite all the viewers to the next session, that is third session of this webinar series, which is scheduled on Thursday, that is 3rd of March, 2022. Thank you so much. Thank you.